What's going on, YouTube? Your boy here, Paula from Down, Down, Up, Up, and we're back. That's right, it's time for another prediction video. But this time, WWE Super ShowDown 2020. Could be, maybe, another one on the way. Well, didn't they do two last year? I want to say they did two last year. This show has certainly been repeated as of late. And correct me if I'm wrong, I recall they did a Super ShowDown in Australia in 2018, and then in 2019, but earlier on, say after WrestleMania, they did Super ShowDown in Saudi Arabia. Well, this time it's another one in Saudi Arabia. We've got 7 matches lined up. Let's try to make this as painless as possible, but dear Lord, there is potential that this show could completely go overboard and send the entire universe into a frenzy. We'll see how it goes. It's predictions time here on Down, Down, Up, Up. Thank you, Apollo Nation, for tuning in. Let's do this. Like I said, 7 matches announced. No kickoff matches as of yet. If there were to be a kickoff match, my prediction is the Usos versus Rude and Ziggler. It's easy to do, and frankly, because Roman and Corbin are going to be wrestling in the cage anyway, they're cronies, they're boys, might as well be putting in the work too. If that happens, I'll pick the Usos. Moving on to the main card. Well, let's talk about the steel cage match then. Why not? We just discussed it briefly. Roman Reigns, Baron Corbin, the feud that never seems to want to end. My issue is not hating the feud simply because a good friend of mine cannot stand Corbin at this point, and my God, his reactions make me laugh to a frenzy. I enjoy myself over it. It's a feud that, honestly, I could see still going simply because of an Elimination Chamber match coming up with both Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin in it to determine the #1 contender for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. So the winner of this doesn't really seem that important. All in all, I'm still going to pick Roman Reigns. Excuse me. If Corbin were to win this, I can't see the point of it. This time I can't see the point of it. He assaulted a crew member in the production truck. Roman Reigns is a big dog, and he's going to beat him. I don't have much to offer for this one, honestly. If Corbin finds a way to win, then outside interference, maybe Sheamus for all I know. I really don't have much to offer for this match. I believe I have called every single one-on-one pay-per-view match wrong on the channel. Will I predict this one properly? We're going to find out. I'm picking Roman Reigns. Let's move on. SmackDown Tag Team Championships on the line. We got the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Big E, defending against the Dirt Sheet, The Miz, and John Morrison, a man I've still enjoyed, even though WWE haven't really given him as much to do as a lot of people were expecting. Personally, I think he's back at first just because of the money. Hopefully, they've got a really good feud built for him sooner down the line. Maybe they plan to split him and Miz up a lot earlier than people think. That's not exactly what I was thinking. Even though they seem to have lost their steam as of late, I am going to pick The Miz and John Morrison. I think they should be tag team champions as soon as possible. I am not off the bandwagon. They should have switched them at the Royal Rumble, but they didn't. It needs to happen now. They could or couldn't go to WrestleMania. It's a mixed emotion feel I have right now about this, because as much as I want to see Miz and Morrison get back to beating the crap out of each other, but on a bigger stage, a bigger platform, later down the line where they have developed so much into ring personas and people in general, I want to see them as tag team champions again. And New Day as champions, I don't see that going anywhere anymore right now. Another feud with the Usos, great, but you can still do that with Miz and Morrison as champions. They did it with the Bludgeon Brothers at WrestleMania in 2018. They could do the same thing in 2020. And I wouldn't really complain, because all I want is Miz and Morrison to be tag champions. I'm picking Miz and Morrison to win the tag team championships at Super ShowDown. I know it's doubtful, but we'll see where it goes. On the upside, Raw Tag Team Championship match, we got Seth Rollins and Murphy. Can't call him Buddy anymore. He got so beaten down, hit hard that he lost his first name. Great diss by the Street Profits, but they are great. They're taking on the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford against Seth Rollins and Murphy. I don't see the titles changing hands, unfortunately. I do have Seth Rollins and Murphy. If the Street Profits were to win, that would be great. I really don't have any complaints about that, but I don't see Rollins and Murphy losing the gold quite yet. It should be in a bigger setting where there's interference costing them when AOP were trying to involve. I see a big screw job for the titles switching hands. It's not at this show, unfortunately. Picking Seth Rollins and Murphy to keep the championships. That's just me. Moving on, I guess the SmackDown Women's Championship. Yeah, Bayley is defending against Naomi. First women's championship match in Saudi Arabia when it comes to WWE. And I don't know who to call for this. I was expecting this at Elimination Chamber, not Super ShowDown. At the same time, I can see Bayley moving on and them doing something with Sasha Banks at WrestleMania. But Naomi did just come back, and I wanted her to take the title right off the bat. This is tough just because they have been trying to push, oh, Bayley's the longest reigning champion ever with SmackDown, oh, record-breaking, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to pick Naomi. I see Naomi winning. Maybe Bayley gets it back sooner than later, but Naomi winning will be a good feel moment. They did the same kind of thing with Natalya versus Lacey Evans, just have the good guy win. Naomi winning the championship. That's my opinion. Moving on. Good Lord. Off to a blistering start so far in these. But we're keeping our heads up, not sounding too terrible so far on my end. Let's move on to this gauntlet match that's for a trophy. Not quite up to date on my history with it, mainly because I never give much of a care for these shows anyway, but I am still offering my opinion on what I expect to go down. So, we got a gauntlet match. We got AJ Styles, we got Eric Rowan, we got R-Truth, we got Bobby Lashley, we got, well, it was supposed to be Rusev, but apparently now it's Rey Mysterio, who is returning from his DDT on the concrete that Angel Garza gave him a little bit ago. So, there it is. And 6 is Andrade. He will be making his return at this show, the United States Champion. Who could really benefit more from this, especially with WrestleMania plans lined up? It might as well be the man who has a tag team already with a trophy that was won in Saudi Arabia. That's right, I am referring to the club, aka AJ Styles. AJ Styles winning this makes the most sense to me, especially if the rumor is Undertaker will be showing up at the show and will be challenging him straight after his win. Whew, I could see that. That'd be really cool. As far as others would really go, I have no interest in Lashley winning it, no interest in Rowan winning it, no interest really in Rey Mysterio winning it. R-Truth winning it would be hilarious, but I don't see it happening, unfortunately. And I've already forgotten the other man. So, well, Andrade, no, he's already the United States champion. What does he need with a trophy? AJ Styles, he can bring the trophy back to his boys, and they can put it in their little room and dance around it, or whatever you do when you have a big trophy. I don't know, I'm just used to winning titles. Moving on, we got the WWE Championship match. A lot of people don't really throw much toward this match. I have a little bit more to offer. Brock Lesnar defending against Ricochet. This is something I actually am excited about, mainly because I predicted this a long time ago heading into the Royal Rumble. Of course, it didn't quite happen the way I expected, but in all honest, Ricochet did help Drew McIntyre eliminate Brock Lesnar. So now they're actually getting a singles match at this pay-per-view for the WWE Championship. Ricochet and Brock is something I've wanted for a bit. I figured they were going to build this earlier on. I wondered how this was going to get thrown in, but of course it was just one of these last-minute decisions. And, oh, Ricochet just wins a triple threat match. He beats Lashley and Seth Rollins to win. Yay. Woo. Does he have a chance? Winner faces Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. I'm talking a lot right now because the adrenaline is kicking in. Who's going to win? Well, a lot of people would say Brock, and I would agree. But I have a little stipulation to this. I'm going to predict twofold. If there is no interference whatsoever, and I am referring to Drew McIntyre, then Brock Lesnar will win. Brock Lesnar will hopefully catch Ricochet's shooting star press into an F5. That's what I want to see. I'd love to see that. Please, shooting star, catch him into an F5. Mwah, delicious ending. If Drew McIntyre shows up, then I'm actually going to pick Ricochet to win the WWE Championship. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I've seen these supposed leak WrestleMania cards which showed me Ricochet versus Brock versus Drew, which is what a lot of people probably don't want to see. But I'm keeping my mind open about this. So, like I said, no interference. Great, Brock Lesnar's going to win. Hopefully, it's a nice little match. But if Drew McIntyre shows up and interferes while the match is going on, then I think Ricochet actually will win the WWE Championship, and the world will go nuts. Simple as that. I'm giving him a chance, because I don't see interference. But if it happens, I have a backup on this channel that you are all now aware of. Delicious. Let's talk about what, in my opinion, will surely be the main event. Universal Championship match. It's The Fiend versus Goldberg, because of course they couldn't just do another Goldberg-Ziggler match or someone else stepping in the ring with him for this. They had to give him a Universal title match, which is scaring a lot of people right now. Gotta keep our heads together on this one, boys and girls, everyone who's watching. I am gonna pick, and bear with me here, I'm gonna pick The Fiend. I have faith. I do have faith that Bray Wyatt will make it to WrestleMania with the Universal Championship. Because if he were to lose, I don't see him just giving up his quest for it right away and being demoted again going into WrestleMania. The only thing that could give Goldberg's win credibility towards WrestleMania is the fact that they finally do Roman Reigns versus Goldberg. It's spear versus spear, and it's a match that more people than you think have been asking for. So, will it happen? We gotta wait and find out. But we don't have that much of a wait because it's tomorrow early in the day. Of course, I will be watching it later in the day because unlike a lot of people that would love to watch it, I actually have things to do in that time. So hopefully I will have my results and review video out Friday. If not, maybe later in the weekend. As I said, I don't take these shows too seriously. Big stuff sometimes goes down, but all in all, it's just a glorified house show. That's what these are. Whether anyone likes to admit it or not, it's a glorified house show. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't have any fun. By all means, enjoy it. But once we get through it, hopefully things pick up 100% and we get a much clearer picture of what WrestleMania is shaping up to be this year. And if it can top last year's. But without any further yakking, I think I'm going to call it there. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. I will see you all after Super Showdown. Keep your fingers crossed. That is not fingers crossed at all. Why can't you just... Oh, it's trying. It's trying. You need assistance? Okay, good enough. Keep it real.